Welcome to the Paws Between Us podcast, co-hosted by best friends Natalie
and Sacha. We're lifelong animal lovers and proud pet parents, and between us we share our lives with
cats Murray and Weaver
and Betty the pug.
In each of our episodes we dive into the joys and challenges of living with our furry companions, sharing honest stories, laughter and sometimes maybe a few tears.
We'll also bring in special guests to offer expert-backed tips and proven practices for keeping your pets happy, healthy and loved. Thank you for joining us.
Please note, some episodes may touch on sensitive topics or contain strong language. Listener discretion is advised.
Hi, Nat.
Hi, Sash. You all right?
Yes, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, thank you. I'm all right.
Good.
Had a lovely, relaxing weekend, which has been lovely.
Nice. I bet that was needed.
It was lovely. You had one as well, though, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, I went to the Cotswolds to catch up with some family and took Betty with me. So it was really lovely, really sunny. And we were in the southern tip of the Cotswolds, which was a little less touristy than, say, the north. So, yeah, had a nice hotel, did some nice walks, went to a brilliant pet shop in a place called Tetbury. So that was really cool. Or I should have said a dog shop because it was focused on all products for dogs. Betty got a free puppuccino and yeah, I bought her some treats and a few other bits. So that was lovely. It's just a shame it's come to an end. I'm could have done a whole week in the Cotswolds, but it was still nice.
Oh, that's lovely. We had to take Murray to the vets on Tuesday. Was it Tuesday,
No.
Thursday last week? Because he's been hobbling a little bit, limping, but been able to jump and been playing and been scratching using his scratch post. I don't know what was going on, but we thought we'd take him just to get him checked out. So long story short is that they think he's probably just done a little bit of like soft tissue damage. I don't know why though, because he's only 6. I don't understand quite how he's managed to injure himself so much, but he's on some painkillers, which luckily he loves. So he's been licking that up without any problem. Sort of noticed a little bit of improvement today. But I'm going to check him over the next couple of days. And if there's nothing majorly improved, I'm going to maybe take him back. But hopefully he'll be fine. But it's kind of that thing of like, oh, it just makes me so worried and anxious. I'm constantly watching him and making sure there's nothing more serious going on. I get so paranoid about bigger problems, but hopefully it's just a small thing. Like I twisted my ankle. I told people about this. I twisted my ankle. Maybe he's doing it in sympathy.
Maybe, yeah, perhaps he's seen you and thinks, oh, maybe I should try this.
Hobble, yeah,
hobble along. Oh, well, I hope he feels better soon. Yeah, just keep an eye on it. I guess that's all you can do.
Yeah.
But I always think it's a good sign if they're still moving about and they're still eating and drinking, they're hopefully not in too much pain.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't look like it.
Have you been able to take a closer look? Has he let you touch it?
Yeah, we've tried and the vet did a little bit of range of movement and he didn't flinch and it was fine. So I don't know what it is, but then my mind whirs and I get really distracted and worried. So I'm sure he's fine. I'm just, it's just me.
Yeah, you can turn to Dr. Google, can't you, and read all kinds of things and fill your head with all these worries, and then it's actually not that bad. So
no.
Yeah. Well, sending well.
Thank you. So what have you been up to?
Yeah, I mean, I've been good. Betty's doing all right. She's still having the physio. She's still hobbling and wobbling herself. Touch wood, her mobility hasn't got worse. I think the key thing is that we're just managing it and maintaining it. So yeah, we took the stroller away with us at the weekend because she was only able to do short walks and she was quite happy to be in that. So that's a good thing.
Cute.
Yeah, just giving her lots of love and attention at the moment. But I was reading something that was quite troubling online earlier that I'm just keeping a watch out for because, as you know, I'm living here in London and the Met Police have offered some warnings after toxic chicken was found in 2 West London parks. The chicken was believed to be deliberately placed to harm dogs or foxes. 1 dog became really ill and 2 foxes were found dead.
No.
So, yeah, I'm just keeping an eye on that. I mean, Betty's not been one for scavenging when we've been on walks, which is good. I mean, if she sniffs something nice, she probably would go up to it and try and eat it. But she's not like some dogs where they're really like they're looking out or they're sniffing out food intentionally, like they're going around like wanting to scavenge. But yeah, I think that was just, it was a bit worrying. And then I remembered that I had picked up some leaflets recently at an event that I was at from a charity called Animal Poison Line.
That's good.
that offers support and advice if you think your pet has been poisoned. So really great info on there about what to do. And they have a helpline, so you can call them up, and they've also got a website. But I just thought I might touch on some of the things that they say if you think your pet has been poisoned. So you can give them a call to confirm if any action is needed. If your pet has vomited, clean it up promptly to prevent your pets or a child from eating it. So I don't know if a child would eat pet vomit, but maybe it's a thing. I don't know. And then if your pet has skin or fur contamination, wipe up the excess material. So yeah, if there's something that's kind of they've rolled in or they've got, it's got on them somehow. But don't try to make your pet vomit. Never give salt water. So if you think they have ingested something that's poisonous, it says that you shouldn't make your pet vomit. And obviously, you're advised to take your pet to the practice and take a sample of the poison with you. I guess that's okay if there's some left, but I know some dogs will kind of, if they find something on the street, they try and eat it as quickly as they can. So it can't be taken off them. But if there's something in the house that they've eaten, could make sure you take some with you. Maybe that's the packaging, the container, or a sample of plant material. And then I guess that's the same for dogs and cats, really. Right. And then there's sort of general advice that they share, I guess, for when you're in the home. And there's like lists of things that are toxic to dogs and cats and different pets. So some things that I've sort of seen that aren't good for dogs, which I hadn't realised, that hasn't been on the list before, because I think the stuff that I found has always been about like food products. But apparently ibuprofen, dogs are very sensitive to ibuprofen, and it can cause gastrointestinal irritation and ulceration and affect the kidneys. So be careful if you leave ibuprofen lying around. Psoriasis creams.
Okay.
Not that I have psoriasis or have any cream, but psoriasis creams, if you have those in the home, they can cause severe and delayed poisoning in dogs because they've got vitamin D compounds in them. So it can lead to also gastrointestinal upset, thirst, increased urine output, and in severe cases, kidney failure, convulsions, and heart problems. I would definitely recommend just checking out the Animal Poison Line website, which has got really, really good info. So just thought I would share that. That's
really helpful. And if people check it out and have a little look at some of the common things, I think I'd always say, like, I mean, you never know what your animal's going to grab, and cats particularly can like wander on top of surfaces and get in cupboards and stuff.
True.
Keep anything like that away. I mean, I knew friends who their cat used to eat their hair bubbles and would go in her bag and pick them out, and then they had to have the stomach pumped or had surgery to go and get these hair bubbles out. My sister's cat ate lots of pistachio nut shells, so you never know what they're going to go after. You just have to be so careful.
Yeah, things that you wouldn't expect, but
yeah. Well, I learned that garlic's really poisonous to cats this week, and we chop a lot of garlic, and maybe bits end up on the floor, but our cats don't tend to. I mean, the thing with cats is they're quite fussy, so they don't tend to eat a lot of things like dogs would gobble up. But still be really careful. You never know, do you?
No, you don't. But what's news with you?
So this week, so I'm a volunteer. I may have mentioned this before for the Human Animal Trust. I'm on their Public Guardian Involvement and Engagement Group, bringing my lived experience as an animal guardian. But this week they had a parliamentary reception to bring together decision makers and experts to talk about moving medicines forward for both humans and animals at the same time. So they were doing a lot of promotion around this, trying to get a lot of movement behind it. It's called One Medicine Approach, and it's treating animal and human health as connected, so leading to more efficient ways of developing and improving treatments for both. So it's a new way of thinking about medicines, and I never knew this before, really, because I've been through my own journeys, as I've said, with previous cats and now Murray and Weaver, where you just think like, well, where are these treatments? We can treat cancer, or most cancers, we've got medicines for this, that and the other. We've got like mobility and prosthetics for humans. So where's the animals? Well, how come they're missing out on all of this? So the things that get in the way at the moment are there's different rules and regulators. So human medicines and animal medicines are assessed by separate bodies with separate processes. So a treatment that can often help both has to go through different approval paths, and takes time, it takes effort, it takes money, it takes assessment. So it doesn't always work very well. There's lots of paperwork and duplication. So even when the science is, when the science is similar, companies may need to repeat studies, submit data twice just to satisfy these two different sets of requirements. There's not enough joined up working. So doctors, vets and researchers and regulators obviously work in silos. So information isn't passed between them very well. And Human Animal Trust are trying to improve those connections and that joint working and sharing of knowledge. And approving medicines is always slow, and the animal market just is a lot smaller, and obviously people struggle to pay for these expensive drugs. So the companies may not always see it as financially viable. So they're reluctant to do as much for animals. And there's lots of other things. But if we can kind of learn and speed up the development of safe and effective treatments, it's going to reduce duplication of testing and improve it. It'll cut down on animal testing where it's not necessary. And they want to work to encourage regulators and science, doctors and vets to share evidence when medicines could work for both humans and animals. So they're going to come in and talk to us a bit more about this sometime in the coming weeks. So we'll get their direct insight into this. But I think it's a great a great principle just to try and just share learning so that animals can benefit as much as humans will benefit, and vice versa. So hopefully things will get easier, and it'll speed up this regulation process where things can get approved a lot quicker so that animals can benefit too. So let's see how that goes.
Yeah. No, I think it's really, really fascinating what they're doing and what they're trying to achieve. And it'd be great to have them on and to learn a bit more and hear their insights, like you say. And yeah, I think we might have spoken about this before, but I sometimes feel that animals get left behind when it comes to innovation for medicine, like you say, and there's a lot that we're doing for patients that actually what could we learn from that and transfer it into helping our pets. So I bet it's something that kind of lots of vets as well would really, really welcome, because I'm sure they must get frustrated with maybe the lack of treatments. So great work that you're doing there, Nat.
Hopefully. Really I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot myself still about it all. I don't know the science behind it. I'm just trying to give my experience as a guardian for my furry little babies. So, we've done our news, but we've got a special guest coming in to speak to us, our friend Liz. Liz has a little gaggle of chickens. I don't know if that's the right word for a group of chickens. Maybe she can tell us.
Yeah. No, I'm really excited to speak to Liz today because I've never really met anyone with chickens as pets until Liz. Yeah, it's not, I don't know. I don't know anything about keeping chickens as pets. I mean, you and I are both vegetarians, so we don't eat chickens, do we? So
no.
Yeah, it's quite nice to hear that they are being loved and looked after by our friend Liz. So yeah, really, really excited to hear a bit more about her chickens and how you can take care of chickens as a pet and all the joy that they can bring. Yeah,
because she speaks quite fondly of them, so it'd be lovely to hear from her about their personalities and stuff. So
yay, bring on Liz.
Yeah. Hello everybody, we're here with another Pause Between Us episode with our bestie Liz. Hey Liz.
Hello, hiya Sacha, hiya Nat.
Hello Liz. Hello.
How you doing? How's today gone?
Oh, it's been nice, out in the sunshine all day today. Got home, had some little cuddles with the chickens.
Yeah. Cool. And that's exactly why Liz is here, to tell us about the chicken family, or another extension of a companion animal. Doesn't have to be just a furry dog. We also have chickens in the wider family nowadays. So, and we learnt last week, Liz, that chickens apparently are the third pet group most popular pet.
Really? Wow. Well, did you know there's more chickens in the world than there are human beings? So
no.
I suppose people don't just have one chicken, do they? They have a whole flock of them.
Oh.
So there's probably people with many chickens out there.
Outnumbered by chickens, which aren't they related to dinosaurs?
Yeah, they're the closest, ostriches, they reckon. But, that kind of big birds and biggish birds like chickens. are like the closest living relations to T-Rex. They're way closer than like lizards and crocodiles, things like that.
See, look, Liz is already firing out facts. So this is going to be a good
Chicken
one.
factoid woman.
Well, thanks for coming, Liz. We can't wait to share a little bit of news because I know a little bit about chickens. I was a bit scared of chickens until I held one last year. And it was quite cuddly and a lot less like scary than I thought. So
What scared you about it?
There were the flappiness.
Yeah.
And I thought they would be a bit more bony and delicate than they were. They were not. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but no, I'm really looking forward to finding out. So,
some people say they don't like the wobbly bits. Like my friend Di, the wobbly bits on the chicken's face scares her.
Yeah, the skin's a bit creepy, I suppose. And that I would be more like that with turkeys, for sure.
Yeah, now they do have proper wobbly bits, don't they? You should get a turkey person on next. Someone who loves turkeys and has turkey companions.
We could. Why not? So Liz, tell us about your chickens. Like, how many do you have? Who are they? Where do they live? How do you keep them?
Well, I've got 4 chickens and they're quite fancy chickens. They're not kind of run-of-the-mill chickens. I've got a Polish chicken, Złota, and she's got a massive grey crest. She's like a bird of paradise in chicken form. She's got these black feathers that are like edged with gold, and that's why she's called Złota. It's Polish for golden. And then I've got January, who's got like a fluffy wig and she lays blue eggs. She's like a wise, wily old hen. And then I've got Noddy, who's named after Noddy Holder out of Slade because she's got great big sideburns. And she's really hungry chicken. She's hungry all the time and just wants food. And she's massive. She's about the size of a goose. And she's like as soft as like a big fluffy marshmallow. She's so soft. And then I've got a little silky chicken, which are the ones that they don't have kind of like hard feathers. In kind of the 15th century, they used to call them the woolly hen, and their feathers look like kind of more like fur. So she's really funny, and she's like a proper angry little creature. She's like screams at everybody. It's really indignant.
What's her name?
So she's like, she looks the cutest, but she's the angriest of all the chickens.
And what's her name, did you say?
Oh, her name is Jaquavius Barb Blanche Morley. And that's what happens when you let your 12-year-old son name your chickens. And the reason I've got fancy chickens is because I went to get some sensible like utility hens that just lay lots of eggs. And my boy came with me to the chicken shop, teenage boy, and he was just like, "We have to get the luxury chickens, Mom." And he persuaded me to get kind of fancy chickens. But they are lovely, I'm glad.
Do these fancy chickens also give you eggs? I know you said, did you say January does, but do they all?
Yeah, they all do. My Polish chicken, who looks the fanciest of all, she lays an egg a day. The only one who doesn't lay that much is my little Silky, Jaquavius. And that's because Silkies, they're a breed that just really want to hatch eggs and have baby chicks. So she does something called going broody, where she goes and sits in the nest box and she doesn't lay any eggs for weeks, and she's just desperate to become a mum, which is quite sad, really. That it's like she should really be allowed to hatch some little chicks. But they're brilliant mummy hens. So if you want like to hatch lots of little chicks, then you can get a Silky. The only problem then is if you're hatching loads of little chicks, you end up with loads of cockerels, and the cockerels will fight when they grow up. So it makes a little bit of an issue.
Yeah, so when you said chicken shop, Liz, what's a chicken shop? Like, I mean, I know the high street chicken shops where you go and eat the chicken.
I suppose it's like, you don't really get it for that many other pets, do you? I suppose you get it for tropical fish, where you go to the fish shop and buy some tropical fish. But for chickens, there's like poultry breeders, and they'll have kind of like different breeds of poultry in stock pretty much all the time. And you can go and kind of meet the chickens and pick the ones that you want.
Oh.
So, yeah, I suppose because you can keep them in massive, great flocks. And so the poultry breeders will just have a great big flock of chickens, and you can go in and kind of pick a few to take home with you.
Wow, how much do they cost to buy a chicken?
About £30 for a chicken. Yeah. And you do want to go to like a decent poultry breeder, someone that really looks after the welfare of the chickens. And you need to like look out for certain kind of diseases that they get, like scaly leg, things like that. And if you go to like a poultry place and they've got chickens that are kind of living in filth and it's not all kind of clean and lovely, and the chickens look stressed and maybe they've got kind of bald patches, or they're losing feathers, or they're picking on each other, pecking at each other, you know that it's no good. You need to go somewhere where they really value the welfare of the hens. They get to go outside. The chickens look clean and well cared for.
Yeah. Oh, that's some good tips, Liz. Thank you. So didn't you have quails before?
Yeah, I love quail. So for anyone that doesn't know what a quail is, they're like a little mini chicken. They look like a chicken if it had had a baby with a baked potato. They're like virtually round with just a little head that sticks out. And they're really beautiful. They're very small and they lay little speckled eggs. And they've got funny little personalities as well. So they're a little bit different from keeping chickens. They tend to be kind of a bit more nervous and flighty than chickens. They can be. And I think it's harder to train them to kind of free range in the garden. Like chickens are real homebods. You can let them out the run. They just stay in your garden and then they just come home at night and go into their run at night. Whereas quail, if you open the door and let them out, quite often they just fly off over the fence and you wouldn't see them again. Oh, wow. I did have a couple that had escaped and they came back, but I think you risk kind of losing your quail. And because they're little, there's a lot of things that want to eat them as well, like foxes and sparrowhawks and things like that. So they're a bit more vulnerable. Even a rat would kind of get a quail. But they are the sweetest little birds. I absolutely love them.
So what got you into getting chickens? Like, why did you initially want to get a load?
We used to have chickens and ducks when I was a kid, and I just loved them. They've got funny personality. They make your breakfast for you, so there's not many other animals that'll like lay you an egg a day. And so I grow my own veggies, and then I thought having kind of a little flock of chickens, I could have my vegetables that I've grown myself, I could have my eggs that the chickies had laid. And then, you know, you're not getting eggs from kind of disgusting great factory farms. You know that you can really look after the animals. And yeah, they're just really nice companions. It's like good to be out in the garden and have them all kind of pecking around your feet and coming to see you. So that's really nice.
Oh, and what are their personalities like then? You did touch on that a little bit at the start, but yeah, what makes them unique personality?
Yeah, they are all really different. It's really surprising. You'd think a chicken would just be a chicken, but it's like every chicken has got a slightly different character. Like Zwata, my Polish chicken's like a little cat. She comes around your feet all the time and she's always like rubbing up against your leg almost. And she always wants to be involved in what you're doing. You know, like cats will jump on your computer keyboard, or she's like straight in the house as soon as you open the door and just ever so friendly. And she's the chicken who kind of likes having little cuddles and snuggles the most. She doesn't mind you picking her up and giving her some fuss. And some of the others are a bit more wary of that. Like January, if you pick her up, you can tell that she's kind of like a bit reluctant to be fussed. She's like, it makes her feel a bit awkward. She'd rather have her own personal space. And then, yeah, there's like Noddy's just the kind of great big hungry chicken who just loves food. And little Jaquavius, she's really funny. She gets separated from the rest of the chickens and all of a sudden she's like calling to them to see where they've gone. And then she runs across the garden. And her big like woolly legs look like she's wearing like old-fashioned bloomers or something. She's just a funny little chicken.
That's so sweet.
The little bloomers things remind me of my cats because Murray's got like what we call little pantaloons.
Pantaloons.
I love looking at the back of it. It's like little fluffy pantaloons. So like, where do you keep them? Because obviously that you said about free range and they're obviously outdoors. Like, what kind of thing have you built for them? Because I know you were building something.
So you need to have a chicken run which has got an indoor sheltered bit with a perch, so that at the night time they can go in there and sleep on the perch somewhere secure. So because foxes are like a chicken's arch enemy.
Yeah.
And you need to make sure that they're somewhere where you can shut the door. They're like safe and sound and there's no like cold drafts blowing through. And they've got nest boxes in there as well, because when they want to lay an egg, they'll always go into the nest box. Somehow they just know like what it's for and they just go there and lay an egg in like the box that's attached to the run. And then I know it's like there's a lot of kind of people that sell chicken runs, and I suppose it's a bit like keeping rabbits or something like that, where there's a lot of inappropriate ones where the outside space that they've got is way too small.
Yeah.
And so I've built them like a great big aviary, which is probably kind of like 15 foot by 8 foot. Nice. And they only really like stay in there if we're away on holiday, or, you know, we haven't got anyone, we're away and there's no one there to kind of let them out and put them back away at night. Most of these days they're like out free ranging around the garden.
Oh, nice.
And I do like there to be someone in the house who can kind of keep an eye when they're free ranging, because we did have a fox take one a few years ago, which is really sad. In the day when somebody was in, they went out in the garden. But Noddy, she's a breed called Salmon Faverolles, and they were bred. They're a Swiss breed, and they're really big. She's pretty like feisty, and they were bred to free range in like the Swiss mountains and fight off foxes. So if you got a flock of Salmon Faverolles, they could like stand up to a fox attack and apparently like fight one off.
No way.
I guess, is it like Romanian shepherd dogs that are bred to like fight off bears and wolves? Yeah. Wow. She's the chicken equivalent of a Romanian shepherd dog.
She's a feisty chick. That's what we like to hear.
Yeah. So are they like quite easy to take care of? What kind of like... Do you need a lot of feed? What kind of like stuff do you have to think of like most days to sort of keep them happy?
You can so you can get kind of special chicken food, and I think a lot of it's kind of made out of soya. Some people feed their chickens just on kind of like wheat and split peas and maize, stuff like that. I tend to give them like a mix. So I give them some of the chicken pellets, chicken food, and then I give them like treats as well. So a scattering of corn every day and some maize, and occasionally like some sunflower seeds, some fresh veggies as well. They love kind of eating any like green vegetables, and blueberries they absolutely adore. They go bonkers for blueberries. I've got a blueberry bush in my garden just outside my kitchen window, and when all the blueberries on it are ripe, I'll stand at the kitchen sink looking out the window doing my washing up, and suddenly I see like a little chicken's head popping up where the kitchen window is. And it'll be one of them doing high jumps to eat the blueberries off the bush. So yeah, they really like kind of fruit. We've got an apple tree, and when the apples fall off in the autumn, they'll like go and have a little peck around. But they've all kind of got different favourite foods. Like January, our grey chicken, her favourite food is blueberries. And then Noddy is the only chicken that will go around and eat slugs. I thought when I got them, they'd be really good for kind of slug and snail patrol in the garden.
Yeah.
And then none of the chickens wanted to touch a slug apart from Noddy. He'll gobble them up. It's kind of disgusting, but it's also like one of the benefits of having chickens in the garden. They keep some of the little pests down that will be eating your plants otherwise. The chickens become the little pests. They're the ones that are scratching up your plants and eating your plants.
Yeah, because you're big into your plants and growing and horticultural stuff, aren't you, Liz? So, like, that must be... So you were hoping to, like, help with that kind of ecosystem.
Yeah, but actually they've ruined my garden. They've got their little feet. They're just like little digging machines, and they just, like, absolutely turn all the soil over. They trash a lot of the plants, and then they eat kind of other ones.
Oh, dear.
So if you want a beautiful garden... Maybe like keep your chickens in their chicken run a bit more. I mean, people do build like a outdoor fenced off area just for their chickens, but then they tend to kind of like tear the grass up pretty quick and turn it into just kind of like bare earth if they have like a smaller chicken run, because they've got the whole run of our garden, which is, I mean, you've seen my garden, it's quite big. It's probably about like 30 metres by 20 metres. And 4 chickens, they won't like totally turn that into mud. It still looks like a garden when you go around. It's just, I suppose, because I'm into my gardening, I noticed the problems they cause with the plants.
Yeah. And how are cats around chickens? Because you talked about foxes and things like other predators, but do cats pay much attention to chickens? Have you got any cats living locally?
We haven't. Strangely enough, we haven't got any local cats, but we used to have a cat and chickens. And the cat never bothered the chickens at all.
Oh, okay.
So when I was a kid, our cats and chickens kind of got on fine. I think a chicken would probably like deliver a cat a swift peck, and then it would realise it wasn't to be messed with.
Yeah.
You do get some little teeny tiny chickens called saramas that are like, they're the size of a pigeon. And I'm sure some cats would have a sarama, but yeah, I've just got big chickens.
Yeah, I can imagine my cats maybe being a bit nervous because chickens can be quite big. And obviously, like, flap and make quite a bit of fuss. I mean, ours run away from the pigeon, so they're not. But then they are indoor and not used to sort of being that close to other species. So that might just be why. But I
worry a little bit sometimes. The chickens stay in the back garden, but sometimes I'll have like the garden gate open, and they'll wander out to the front. Loads of our neighbours have got dogs, and it worries me a bit if like one of the dogs hadn't been trained to be around. Obviously, they haven't been trained to be around chickens if their owners don't have chickens. So it'd worry me kind of maybe a dog might think it was like a nice snack or something.
Yeah.
That's not happened so far, so that's good.
Good. And is there a term for like a group of chickens together? So, you know, like with dogs, you have like the pack. And I know with pugs, because I have Betty the pug, if you have more than, I think, 3 pugs, it becomes a grumble. That's what they call it.
A grumble of pugs.
A grumble. So do you have like a term
that.
like for chickens? And do they all stick up for each
Well,
other if one was in danger?
It's a flock of chickens, but I think I need to think of a better word for like a bunch of fancy chickens.
Yes, we need to find
maybe
out.
like a parade of chickens or something.
Correct. That sounds better. I like that because they're a bit fancier.
Yeah, luxury chickens.
And is there anything else people don't know about chickens? Have you got like, because you're full of facts, is there something that you could share with us?
Yeah, I think chickens are really good at recognising faces, and they've done research on them and found they can like recognise kind of 100 different individual people.
Wow.
So it's like, you know, they know us and they'll recognise their owner, and I always think that's quite nice, where they like, you're not just like the hand that feeds them, they know who you are.
Good.
They take an interest in you.
Yeah. See, that's way more than I would have known, because I don't know a lot about birds, but I mean, I've seen some like, you know, parrots can do a lot of things and are very highly intelligent, and some other smaller birds are very clever. Like, I mean, like, gosh, you even talk about like crows, how, you know, they can do puzzles and all sorts and remember faces. I think I remember something about remembering faces for years, and it passes down through generations with crows. Apparently, I heard.
That's amazing.
Yeah, they can pass on the same face to their offspring, and then it goes on and on, apparently. But I didn't. So it's interesting to hear that chickens, because then I suppose it supports those other stories. So
was that like a thing they did with a guy wearing a mask or something? Where the crows, like a university somewhere, the crows like recognised him even after like kind of 3 generations of crows.
I think I read the same thing. So fascinating. We underestimate.
We do underestimate birds. Yeah, they've got quite a different intelligence to us, but they are still very intelligent, I think. Yeah. Just in their own way. Yeah. Chickens definitely aren't stupid.
No. Good. Well, we're here to break that myth.
That stereotype.
And tell people how lovely, and like knowing more about that they've got personalities and how much joy they bring is just what we're here to do. So
And if someone was listening today and thought, wow, I'm really inspired about getting a chicken, or actually what I've heard is brilliant, I really want a chicken in my life with my garden, what would be the next step? Like what should they do?
So I'd have a look at your outside space, and I'd say if you've got a garden smaller than perhaps 10 metres square, chickens probably aren't for you. And I'd also make sure that you get more than one, so you need that they're friendly, you know, they need like other chickens around them to keep them company. So you need to have a minimum of 3 chickens.
Right, that's good.
I'd say you can think hard about whether you'd want to get a cockerel or not, because cockerels are quite loud, quite noisy. And you'd have to be prepared to, every single day you have to go in there, run, you have to like, I do a kind of, it sounds a bit gross, but I go in there and just make sure their bedding's clean, do a poo pick. And just get all the chicken poo off their bedding, put down a bit of fresh bedding, and then give them a proper clean out, perhaps kind of once every few weeks, something like that. And then every day you have to make sure they've got plenty of fresh water. You got to make sure they've got enough food. And the more time you spend with these chickens, then the more you'll get out of having chickens, the more they'll get to know you, the more kind of friendly they'll become. And the more you kind of start to see their personalities come out, stuff like that.
Well, so you've got to have time for them, basically. Time to bond and time to build that relationship.
Yeah. The other thing you can do as well is, because battery farms keep the hens for maybe like 2 years, and a hen can live, they reckon like the average lifespan 6 years, and some of them can live up to kind of 16, 20 years even.
Wow.
And so after 2 years, the battery farms, they send all the chickens to the pocket pie factory to get made into chicken pies, unless the British Hen Welfare Trust organise like battery hen rescues, because they know that those chickens will live kind of a lot longer if they get rescued. And you can adopt kind of chickens, and it's kind of much cheaper than going to the chicken shop and buying luxury chickens, and probably much kinder as well. So you can get like rehomed ex-battery chickens, and that's a really kind of lovely, worthwhile thing to do. I think kind of in the future, I'd like to do that.
Yeah, it's another thing to say, Liz, you are also a vegetarian, aren't you? And have been for decades. So you're
I am,
animal
yeah.
supporter.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to tell us, Liz, before we wrap this up today about your life with chickens, recommending them to others?
Keeping chickens makes you realise how kind of unkind we often are to chickens and how we do often treat them just like a product. Yeah. And when you have a pet chicken, you realise that they're actually brilliant little personalities. They can bring you kind of a lot of light and joy and happiness into your life. It's lovely. I couldn't imagine now going out into the garden and not having my little chucks kind of coming around my feet and like looking up to you, asking for a little snack.
Yeah, well, it's that kind of like thing where they just bring you a little bit of love and a little bit of joy, and that's what it's all about, really, isn't it?
That's right. So yeah, I'd say, if you're thinking of getting chickens and you've got enough space and you're going to have time to look after them, definitely do your research and kind of find out how to look after them properly, and then go for it. Get some.
Thank you, Liz.
You'll really enjoy being a chicken mum or dad.
Well said. I want a chicken now. I don't have a garden, unfortunately, but one day when I have,
unfortunately, they're not easy to house train.
No.
What kind of chickens?
Something to do with the sun as well, don't they lay more? There's more when there's more light.
That's right. So in the winter, then they stop laying, so you don't get eggs all year round. So yeah, there are some breeds that are supposed to lay through the winter.
Okay.
But our little broody one, actually, little Jaquavius, who's kind of spends the summer wanting to have babies. In the wintertime, she lays and the other chickens stop laying. So we do still get like an egg a day through the winter. So yeah, little Silky might lay through the winter.
And I bet they taste way better than the shop-bought eggs.
Yeah, they really do. Yeah, there's no contest. I can't go back to shop-bought eggs. It's like a really sad day when you haven't got an egg that your chickens have laid in the house. And you're like, oh, shall I buy some smelly supermarket eggs? They just don't have that like sulphury smell, the ones that are fresh.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't believe some of the shops still sell barn eggs. I just don't even know why they're even there. I know people have limited funds, but every single egg should be free range at the very least.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Big thing of mine, but anyway. But thank you, Liz.
Well, I think that's really helpful or really insightful. Like I say, I would love to get some chickens, but it's not to be right now. Yeah. Thank you, Liz. Really.
No, thank you for having me on.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure.
All right. Take care.
I will catch up with you again soon.
Yeah, I'll see you soon. Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the latest Paws Between Us episode. Tune in next time for more stories, helpful tips and advice, and inspiring news about our animal companions. Coming up, we have rabbits and cat behaviourists and much more news from around the world. So like, subscribe and follow for more, and also find us on TikTok and Instagram if you want to see what we're up to outside of the episodes. See you there.